What it do, YouTube? It's SS, and I'm back with another video. So this time we're running what got a nerf, Needle Queen, Shadow Needle Queen. Always still gonna be one of my favorites. Paired up with another Shadow Snorlax, and Gallade. I did these in Discord, so I was having a little bit of fun trying to see if I could make a team work. Try to get some good sets so I can drop a video for you guys. And so I hope you guys like the battles. Like, comment, subscribe. I have been dropping videos lately. I dropped two last night. I'm going to try to drop two more today. If not, this one should be good until I record another one for tomorrow morning, and then you guys will have that one. But either way, we should be back on schedule with dropping videos. So like, comment, subscribe, and I guess let's just go ahead and get to these battles. So it's only going to be two sets, to be honest. A little shorter video, didn't try to make it too long, so yeah. So now we're gonna see this Alolan Sandslash come into our Snorlax, and at this point, I'm going to let this go. Could be the Bulldoze. It is the Bulldoze, but it does just about as much as a Ice Punch, and so I'm gonna go straight for the Body Slam here. And they actually call it, which is fine. So now I'm gonna catch here, but at this point, I think this game looks over. I think maybe. Yeah, it definitely looks over. So a lot of misplays on the first one, but either way, I'm still playing it out. We're gonna shield here. They're gonna Dragon Claw. Um, I'm going to get off a Body Slam here. I'm at the next one, I do believe, and I think just for fun, I'm going to superpower it to see, for science, to see how much it actually does. Does a nice reasonable chunk. Probably does as much as the Body Slam here, and they stop tapping, give me a hope, but they still have another full health Pokemon in the back. We're gonna be able to knock out their Sand Slash before they do it, and their Chestnut comes in to fine whip us down. Either we still made it a little bit close, even though they did stop tapping. But either way, now we're gonna see Needle Queen into, or our Needle Queen into Dragon Breath Gyarados, which is obviously not too good. So I'm gonna go straight for the Poison Fang. And if you guys don't know, the nerf was that Poison Fang is more energy, so now it takes 6 instead of 5 to get to the Poison Fang. So not really too ideal, but either way, we're gonna swap into our Snorlax to catch this Crunch. They come into an Obstagoon, and at this point, I'm just going to send the Superpower as soon as I get to it, because there's no reason to give them more farm, and they actually do let it go, so it puts it in farm down range for my Needle Queen. We get to the Body Slam, but we're not unable to get it off, which is very bad for us. But either way, we're going to be able to come into our Needle Queen. I do believe I just no shield this because it's most likely a Nice Slash, and they're not going to make it to another move, which is fine. And their Gyarados is very low, so I don't expect they actually come back into it. But whatever's in the back is just going to end up getting Poison Fanged, and then these Confusions are just going to start chunking. They actually end up shielding, which is kind of weird. But maybe they lost count. I don't know. But either way, we're going to throw this Leaf Blade. It should do a lot of damage if they don't shield either way. But they do end up shielding. And I'm going to shield this Body Slam. And then, but it's actually a Skull Bash. So thank God I did shield, because they were probably like, oh, he's not going to shield. He's probably flexing on me. Let me go for the hard move. And unlucky for him, I actually did end up shielding, and we're going to be able to take that game. So I think the sets are positive. I think I did 3 sets with this team, and I went like 3-2 in all 3 sets. And now we're going to see a horrible lead, so I'm going to switch out into Snorlax immediately. And we're going to get met with a Blaziken. And it's a Fire Spin, so this is actually a lot better than the counter variant. I prefer the Fire Spin than the counter, because those counters will be doing super effective damage, and they are stabbed coming from the Blaziken. So I'm making sure that I do time my moves correctly here, so I can get out the Body Slam correctly. And at this point, they're over farming, but I am going to let this go, I do believe. Yeah, it's just a Blaze Kick, and they have to throw another one, to be honest, or they're gonna be able to get farmed down. And they realize this, so they throw a move here. And at this point, I can come back into Nido Queen or Gallade. Either or doesn't matter. And I choose to go to Gallade. Start getting farm on Gallade. And in the back is a Sceptile, which this is kind of weird. But I am going to let go the first one, hoping it is a Leaf Blade. It is a Frenzy. So I'm like, I need to get out of here. So I go into my Needle Queen, and I am going to shield this one. And we're gonna go straight for the farm down here at this point, and we're gonna be able to get it. So whatever comes in is, oh, this is a Swampert. So I'm just gonna go straight for the nuke here. There's no reason for me to poison fang it, because just in case they end up no shielding like that case right there. So not at this point, they have to throw because they're gonna get weak enough for the confusions to KO them. They undercharge it, or I don't know, maybe it wasn't enough, and I get scared here, so I throw the move, and they end up shielding. But I'm at back-to-back moves, so I'm gonna be able to shield here and throw my leaf blade, and we're gonna be able to take that game. Very scary at the end, but we did end up clutching it out and taking that win. So yeah, I hope you guys are liking the battles. Once again, they do take time, and sometimes I don't always get the positive sets that I'm looking for. And we're gonna see Gengar into our Needle Queen, which is kind of weird, but I do believe Gengar is actually ranked pretty good in the Ultra League. But either way, we're going to be able to. It's just glassy. It's just very glassy, and we swap at the same time. So now he comes into a Snarl, and I don't realize it's a Snarl one. So I just let this go because I'm like, okay, well, the acid spray is not gonna do too much damage, and I think I made the same mistake last time because I didn't notice that it was actually Snarl instead of Poison Jab. I prefer Poison Jab, but Snarl does have play in the league. So now at this point, I'm gonna go straight for the superpower because I do want to get this off. And to my surprise, it actually really doesn't do that much. So maybe I probably should just went for double body slam here. Probably would have been more better, but we're in a very bad position here. And so now I'm gonna come into my Needle Queen here, tried it, and they win CMP. So I should have went for the extra. But that is fine. And I do believe I just undercharge it. Get to a nice. But it is going to be just enough to KO. And now I'm switching because I need to get out of there. It is a Poliwrath and the Gengar comes in. So I do have to let this go because I'm scared that the Poliwrath is going to be able to get to a move and we're going to be able to KO. They have mud shots, so their mud shots are not going to be enough to KO at this point. But I am keeping the shield. We are very low. We have to watch out here. And I'm going to go for the next Leaf Blade. I do believe this was CMP. And we're going to see, is it just enough to KO? It is not enough, but this is CMP. So I am able to no shield this. Oh yeah, I forget I have the Needle Queen in the back, so I really didn't have to shield that. And then we're gonna come in, and I didn't want them to get to the move, so I'm just gonna throw the Poison Fang, and we're gonna be able to take this game here. So yeah, very close, but once again, very exciting. Hope you guys like it. Almost throwing for content, as you would like to say. But yeah, here we go. So now we're gonna see a very horrible lead here. This is Empoleon into our Needle Queen. So I swap immediately to our safe swap, the Snorlax, and we're gonna get met by Machamp. And I think I had a little bit of lag, so it made me actually CMP here. And lately the game has been very laggy. Well, at least for me. I don't know if it's been for you guys, but it's been very laggy for me, which is not very ideal. And because of that, we're not going to be able to make it to another one, but that is fine. I do believe I just come back into Needle Queen or maybe Gallade to start getting farm here. Yeah, Gallade makes a lot of sense because I do want to get this farm. And it looks like they kind of denied me here. I'm going to let this go. Just the Rock Slide. Um, so now we're going to see a Trevenant come in, and this is actually very bad. So I'm just going to go ahead straight for the close combat here, and then I'm going to switch. And they're going to switch into the Empoleon, which is obviously not too ideal. Going to shield this. It is the Hydro Cannon, and I'm going to farm up to back-to-back Poison Fangs, hoping that they don't shield it, but most likely they probably will end up shielding this. So maybe if I did go for the Poison Fang, I probably would have been able to KO this without using a shield. But unfortunate for me, I am barely going to make it to this Earth Power here, and we're going to be able to take out the Empoleon. But we do have a pretty much full health Trevenant in the back that's just going to be able to throw this Shadow Ball here. I'm pretty sure they didn't throw any energy, and this is the Shadow Ball. It is the Shadow Ball. and they go for the overkill. And as you guys can see, this is a 3-2. And I'm only showcasing 2 sets out of the 3 because I didn't want to make it too long of a video, especially because there's only like 3-2s and they're not like 5-0s or 4-1s or anything like very exciting, to be honest. But either way, we're gonna see Venusaur into our Shadow Nidoqueen, and this is kind of because these frenzy plants are obviously going to hurt a lot. And so I'm gonna let the first one go through. It'll probably take us down to yellow. We are XL baby, and we're gonna go off. We're gonna just send this Earth power off and see if they want to shield. They don't want to shield, which is very good for me. And I'm going to be able to farm down completely before they get to a move. And in the back is a Napoleon, and this is looking a little bit tricky. So I'm gonna come into Snorlax here, and going to let this go. It is going to be the Hydro Cannon, and we're going to build up some more energy here. We're just going to go straight for it because then at this point I will be able to switch out into Gallade. But they do end up letting it go, and this confusion registers before they even get to move. So now in the back is a Talonflame, and I do misplay this one. So I should have been throwing Leaf Blades here. I am going to shield the Flame Charge. Should have threw one right there. And I'm going to keep making mistakes here because I thought maybe the confusion pressure was going to be enough. And at this point, you guys will realize that they are just farming me down completely. And that last confusion was not enough. We get taken out by the last incineration for that confusion to even go through. And we're going to get Brave Bird in here, and we're going to end up losing this game. So very not ideal. Should have been throwing one confusion, then the Leaf Blade. Could have got to 3, probably ended up winning. So this is a mirror match that I do not like. But lucky for me, they actually end up switching. And I'm going to try to throw on good timing here. Even though the waterfalls are chunking, I do not want them to sneak in an extra one. And we do get the shield, so now I can come into Snorlax. We're going to be able to let this go. And we're going to charge up to the superpower. I do believe I'm just going to full send it, because there is no reason for me to over farm here. And we're going to farm right before they even get to their 5th one. And this is going to make them either shield, and they do shield, which is very good for me. And if they do try to go for the farm down, now we're going to be able to get to another one. Bad timing on my part, but we're at the superpower, so is this going to be enough? It is just barely enough, and this Nidoqueen is going to get 1 poison jab of energy. So now at this point, I can come into my Gallade, and we're going to let this go. I think this is just a Poison Fang. Big Poison Fang, and then I'm going to switch out. They come into a Charizard. At this point, it is Air Slash Charizard, not Wing Attack. Please make sure you guys are using the right one. If you are going, you might be able to trick non-expecting players, but the ones that do know their fast moves obviously will know that this is an Air Slash Charizard. So now 1 confusion to take it out, and at this point, this Nidoqueen is super KO'd here, and we're just gonna go for the bad manners. 2 shield flex with a nice close combat, and it is going to be enough to KO the Nidoqueen, and we're gonna be able to take that game. So we got BM'd in a couple other games, and we're doing the BMs back. So once again, we're going to see a bad lead, Empoleon. A lot of Empoleons, as you guys can see. Very not too ideal, but we're going to be able to let this first one go through, as always. Oh no, we're going to shield the Drill Peck. Okay. And then they come into a Swampert. So this is double water. Double water. I'm hoping it's not triple water. And now I'm going to be able to get to the next Body Slam here. We're going to charge it up to the next one. Do they want to shield? They do want to shield, so we're now shield 1 shield at a piece. So now I'm going to let this go because the Hydro Cannon is not going to be enough to KO. They will have to throw another one. They do throw another one right before I get to my next Body Slam. Very nice counting on my opponent's side. And then now we're just going to come into Gallade, I do believe, and start getting this farm. This juicy farm. And I'm going to try to catch and sack my Nidoqueen here. And they end up throwing a Sludge Wave. I don't know how I ended up catching that, but I ended up catching that. And now in comes the Empoleon. We try to throw in good timing, but they end up doing this amazing catch on their Charizard, which is very good for them, but bad for me. But either way, this is a fire spin one, so it doesn't really matter. Um, and I throw in bad timing because I do want to get this Poison Fang off. They were at the Poison Fang, but this is going to be enough damage for my Gallade to come in, confusion it down with one confusion. We're at the close combat, and I was in Discord doing these battles, so they told me to go for the Leap Blade. I'm like, what? Why would I want to do that if I'm basically at 2 close combats? They're like, Bayday, he's going to shield for sure. I'm like, if he doesn't shield, then what? But lucky for me, he does end up shielding, and I end up doing one extra confusion, knowing that I was already at the close combat, and we're just going to barely win this game, even though the overtapped almost lost us the game. But we would have won CMP regardless, so I don't think it was going to be a loss. But now we're going to see Gallade. They're using a Gallade up against us. And so far, Nidoqueen has not been having any good leads. And they're going to go straight for the Leaf Blade. I'm going to shield. So I'm going to throw the Poison Fang here. We're going to charge it up to an excellent. They let it go, which is fine with me. I come into my Snorlax, and I don't know what they were trying to do here, but they ended up getting farmed down completely. Now they come into a Venusaur, and this is starting to look pretty good for me because I think I can make it to another Body Slam before they get to their Frenzy. They do end up shielding, which is fine with me, but that we get outpaced just a little bit before we get to the next Body Slam. But this Frenzy Plant is not going to be enough to KO, so we're going to be able to charge up this next Body Slam up to an excellent. Do they want to shield this one? They don't want to shield it, which is okay, and I'm hoping I can make it to another move before, but they end up throwing because they did get scared, so even better for me. Now I am going to be able to come into Gallade, and in the back is a Swampert, so this is looking pretty good for me, to be honest. I can let the first Hydro Cannon go. It will do some good damage. Obviously, Gallade is not the tankiest Pokemon, but it will be able to tank a Hydro Cannon at full health. And so we're at the first Leaf Blade. It is a CMP, so I am going to shield this one up. And then I just need one more confusion to get to this next Leaf Blade. And we're at the Leaf Blade, so I'm going to charge it up to the next lane. At this point, this excellent is just overkill, but it is regardless. We want to send a message to their Swampert, and they're going to bring back in their Venusaur to get confusion down. One of my homies on Discord told me to switch out, and I was like, why would I switch out? I only need 2 confusions. I'm not trying to give him more farm. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna be able to win that game. Now we're gonna see a Surf Edge into our Nidoqueen. So obviously they're going. I'm gonna let this one go. I prefer it to be the Night Slash. It is the Night Slash, so we did correctly call it. But they end up getting the boost, which is not too ideal for me. But we're at the Poison Fang. We're gonna throw it. They're not going to make it to another move, but so they know that, so they end up swapping immediately. And at this point, I should have shielded this. And this is where I thought it was Poison Jab, but it was actually Snarl. So now it actually puts us in a very horrible place here. So I'm going to go for Body Slams because I do not want to debuff myself. They do let it go through. Going to let this go through. And I'm going to be able to make it to another Body Slam before they CMP us. I'm going to let this go through to shield Gallade. Hopefully this works. If it doesn't, then I mean it already looks like it's over, but this is going to be our last resort here, and they do let it go. So now I'm going to switch into Gallade here. They come in Surf Edge. Then they have I could have won this, but I could have won this. So I do call the mirror shot here. And I needed to throw. Okay, so I need the throw here. We get the shield. Now I start shielding. And obviously they're just going to go straight for mirror shots here at this point. And then I am over farming here. Just a little bit, way too much. Which is going to cost me, to be honest. Because I should have threw the move earlier. Their time is up. I should have actually swapped right here. And they do this amazing catch. Or I either should have swapped, or I should have did want extra confusion. But since I thought they were at a move, I was just going to throw it immediately, and they ended up doing this amazing catch to win the game. And that could have been a win, but that is fine. They played it very nicely. And we're gonna end up getting a Reggie still, obviously the Shundo here. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys liked the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you guys on the next video as we catch this Reggie steal. And I check it, it is very bad, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys on the next video.